get all the pictures. You're like, yeah, go ahead and just sit down. Your back's gonna be against the board.
Okay.
Let's clean the board first. Because after every patient, guys, the lab this week, you need to clean the board. It's disgusting, first of all. Secondly, your face is right up on it, and your nose. Like, your forehead should be touching it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's disgusting. So, after each time, you guys will clean it, let it dry for a second. That's like a never wash. So. Alright, let that air dry.
I don't want my face.
Lauren, your handwriting.
All on the board.
I was grading your quizzes.
Oh.
All of the quizzes. So here. Is that enough light? Alright. Guys, so for the first one we're going to be doing, it's called the Caldwell Skull, is PA. We're going to do 10 by 12 lengthwise. So actually we're going to switch it around because I'll do the towns later, the AP. So I'll do the Caldwell first, it's PA. 10 by 12 lengthwise. And what we're going to want to do is I'll explain to you first. It is PA with the forehead and nose on the IR, and it says your OML and mid-sagittal plane are perpendicular to IR. So we are going to center at the nasion, which is 15 degrees. Caudal as well. I'll show you this. We're waiting for it to dry. So we have our nasion, which is right where your glasses sit, like on your nose. Your canthon, which is that little triangular piece right above your lip. And you have your mental point. We don't really use that one too much, but sometimes your gonion, right here, this little angle. Another one we use all the time is your glabella. So it looks like it's right at the eyebrows, but it's not. It's like right above that groove, right above your eyebrows. But your main ones we'll be using for the skull unit are your glabella, your nasion, and your canthon. Okay. And then your OML is going to go from your outer canthus, so like right where the eyelids meet, and draw an imaginary line to your ear. All these go to the ear. So your GML is your glabella, so that's right above your eyebrows. OML is outer canthus. IOML is inferior orbital meatal line, so orbital meatal line, but we draw it from the outer canthus. And then your AML is at acanthion, and then your mental point. Mental point. Alright. Dry?
No, but it's okay.
Clean shirt. Alright, how's that?
That's fine.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, and again, not all facial structures are the same. So when we say put your forehead and nose on it, sometimes depending on someone's nose structure, anatomy, it might not fit. So that's why we have to make sure that the OML is perpendicular to the IR. So go ahead and put your forehead and nose touching. So tuck your chin a little. There you go. All right, and we want to make sure her OML. So I'm gonna move this up. Okay, you might want a side view. So we want, first of all, let's get that red line right exiting through her nasion, which is right at the top of the bridge of her nose. Alright, so her OML right here is going to be nicely perpendicular. Tuck your, there you go. And it doesn't necessarily have to have your forehead and nose touching. That's just like a starting point, and again we go with patient's anatomy. So what you're going to do is you guys all can have pencils, and you basically are just drawing a line from her outer canthus to the EAMs. Sorry, you just want to make sure that this is perpendicular. Do you see how that light now is? This is a left side. And I have one more thing to do. So we're going to do 15 cotton. Alright, so now if you guys want to come over here and look to the side, you can shut the door if you want, so you guys can squeeze by. There you go. So this is Caldwell. It's a 15-degree caudal angle exiting out of the nasion. Our OML is perpendicular to the IR. And you also want to come back at the very end and just make sure she's not tilted one way or another, that she's straight on. So she is. That is our Caldwell. And just know, like, I'm going by the Bucky line. It looks like it's off on here, but on the Bucky it's good.
So the OML that's the bridge of the nose?
No, so
The
the
OML.
CR is going to be the nasion, which is exiting
nasion.
out of here.
Okay.
The OML is what we're making sure is perpendicular. That's the outer canthus to the EAM. So right here, this is this line.
Okay.
You're acting it as if it's a plane. So go ahead and look at this. So lift your chin up. See how the OML is now angled?
Uh-huh.
So tug it down. Now we are perpendicular.
Okay.
You see that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Everyone get it? Yep. All right, so next is going to be the PA skull. So this one's pretty easy. This is just straight on, no angle. Just take the angle off. And this is since the same exact positioning, except for we're going to center it to the glabella this time. So it's 10 by 12 lengthwise. PA again is with a forehead and nose touching the IR. And then it says just the same as before, OML and mid-sagittal plane is perpendicular to the IR. So our OML is perfect. So this one, like we said, we're going to center, have it exit out of the glabella. So right above the eyebrows. So you might have to come like back and forth a little. Down here. Because again, you want to go right above the eyebrows. Sorry.
Okay.
Good. All right. So just watch your hand and remove it. All right. So again, this is your PA skull. You want to make sure that there's no rotation. If there is, just move her a tad. OML is perpendicular. It's exiting out of the glabella, so right above the eyebrows, and no angle.
When you're done.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the glabella is above the eyebrow.
A glabella is that groove and
Glabella.
indentation. Do you feel that groove and like indentation? Right above, yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Right there. All right, you can relax, Caitlin. So these, even if you're able body and like no issues, aren't they uncomfortable?
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Add in
Kinda like a
like
bad
neck
spot.
issues. Add in neck issues. These are sometimes very hard to get. So we'll have you turn around. We're gonna go AP. This one's called the Towns. It's AP projection. We're gonna go 10 by 12 10 by 12 lengthwise. All of these will be lengthwise so far. So AP, again, our OML and the mid-sagittal plane are going to be perpendicular to the IR. So in saying that, you want to look at, yeah, and it's right in the eye, so unfortunately. So do you see how this is angled, the OML? We're drawing a line from the outer canthus to her ear, EAM. You guys see that? So how do we make it perpendicular?
Tilt her head down.
Tuck her chin. Good job. Tuck your chin. So it's essentially just a different position, but imagine if the Bucky were here, you're going to have the four. So I'm going to tuck your chin a little bit more. And that's okay if you have OID. See how we have OID? Some people say to put a sponge back there. I wouldn't worry about it. Just make sure you have them tuck their chin. And if they have to move their, to tuck it a little bit more. Good. So we're a little too far tucked. So chin up a little. Perfect. And then for this one, the centering is going to be, you can relax your head, just so you're not, yeah, there you go. The centering is going to be 2.5 inches above the glabella. So for this one, everyone's forehead's different. But what you want to do is generally, now if this doesn't happen, this is just a trick for the majority of the population, but it's not solid, so you can't really use it. But I know, unfortunately, just
It's
close your
okay.
eyes. Yeah,
I
close
know.
your eyes. So there you go. It's horrible. So what you're gonna do is it generally falls on the hairline, right? But if they're bald, it doesn't work. If they have a big forehead, it doesn't work. So just know this is about 3 inches, 4 inches. So with her, it does not work for her. She's got a normal hairline. But sorry, I'm gonna scooch it over. You want to center it. Before I get started, you also want to do a 30-degree caudal angle. So again, that's to the OML. Add it before you get them started. Alright, and it's going to distort the image because we have such a steep angle, so just so that's normal. And then again, we're gonna go 2.5 inches. So for me, that's 2. Yeah. So for Caitlin, if you have her. All right, her OML is going to be nicely perpendicular. We're centered 2.5 inches above her glabella, so it's right about there. You want to just watch your back. I'm going to slide this down. 30 degrees caudal. Keep your marker out the way, and then again, you just want to go in front of her to make sure she's not tilted, and she kind of is. So just go ahead and Caitlin, perfect. What I don't know. Good. Now you'll see that like I'm not touching their face.
Yeah.
People hate touching their, like anyone touching their face, even if you've got gloves on. So you kind of do like matrix moves, like be like go a little bit this way, a little that way, and they'll follow you. She did it perfectly. So that is it for the towns. It's a 30-degree caudal angle.
Can you run over the planes real quick and how to get them perpendicular with the
Too bright,
bucky?
like I can't get it. Oh wait, maybe. Okay. Thanks. I didn't
So-
get the last one. I can't remember. Sorry.
What is that?
The last one I didn't
You
get.
can
so-
relax. So with the planes, that's why you're gonna have to study that worksheet. So the OML. So again, you just draw an imaginary line from the
From
orbital,
here to
the outer canthus, to the EAM. Now, for if it's IOML, that's inferior to the orbits, right? Inferior orbital medial line is gonna go to the ear. Mentum, you're gonna draw a line from here to the ear. So you just want those planes.
To be perpendicular
Perpendicular.
with the bucky.
Yep. So that's why I don't care if you guys have a pencil for lab. That's okay. Just put it up there and have them, tuck their chin, and you can see how it articulates with the bucky.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Last but not least, we have our lateral. Now, depending on like what the reason is that you're doing this, sometimes we'll take left and right sided lateral. If you got punched in the right side of the face, maybe they'll just do the right side. It just depends what they want. So this is the only one that's crosswise. And let's make sure we got everything good. All right. So for this one, do you think we would do the lateral like this? What do
10
you
by
think about all that OID?
10 by 12 crosswise.
Yeah, 10 by 12 crosswise.
Take it out to 72.
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
We actually keep it at 40, but what we're gonna do is oblique the body, like we do for a, for a C-spine, so it lessens it. So, and then, so you can do AP, or let's do, PA. And you can just, bring your legs out, good job. So, for these purposes, you can go. So sometimes it's easier to do it, PA, because you can, bring your legs on that side, just so they can see you. And we'll do
On
it.
this side?
Yeah, we'll do it right now.
Okay.
Just so they can see.
So
Good job. Perfect. Yes. So now, as with everything, we don't want to have any angle, right? Rotation, tilt, any of that. So you get her as close as you can. If you do it AP, it's harder to bring your neck all the way over in that direction. So I suggest doing it PA. Just know you're able to do it AP for lab purposes. I would do it PA. You get them right up against the board. And then this is why it's important to wash the board after every time. So her right side's against the board, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to mark it as a right marker. Now for this, we're going to go 2 inches above the EAM. The EAM is literally the ear hole, right? So not the ear, top of the ear or anything, the ear hole. So 2 inches. So I'm going to bring that down. And basically what you want to do is make sure you have the whole skull in profile. Don't worry about like the hair. If the hair's like real poofy on top, like we need the skull. It doesn't matter about the hair, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The shadow will throw you off. So just make sure it's 2 inches. And then this is where we're gonna go. So tilt your head a little bit this way. Good, a little bit more, good. So we don't have any tilt, and then a little like this. Good, perfect. Back a little. So this is kind of weird and awkward for patients and for techs because you're like really like looking in their eyes and you're like trying to tell them which way to get it. So just let them know like, hey, just follow my lead. That's good. Now we're going to focus on the IOML. So for this, now we're going to do the IOML is perpendicular to the IR. So for this, it's the inferior orbital meatal line, so like right here. And what we're going to do is it's a little tilted this way. So we're going to tilt your head out that way a little bit. Good. And if we had to sacrifice some OID against the board, that's okay. But you wanna make sure that this is, so go ahead and tuck your chin hair. There you go. So that's what we're looking at right here with the IOML.
Okay.
We wanna make sure that this is nice. Basically, they say perpendicular, but you want it to be like at a parallel level. Does that make sense? Like you don't want her tilting her chin down or up. You wanna make sure our IOML is nicely centered with the EAM.
So if we were going to like the EML, we would just have her tuck her chin in until it was perpendicular. Just for any of the planes.
Our IOML.
I'm just for any of the different planes. Like if we were doing this plane here to get it perpendicular,
And
she
tuck
would
her
just
chin.
tuck
Yep.
her chin in,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Or
Or
raise
lift it,
or lift it.
depending.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then also there's something called your interpupillary line. So that's basically like essentially drawing a line between the two pupils, right? And you want to make sure that those aren't offset. So like if she is tilted like this, her eye, if you draw that line from pupil to pupil, it's going to be off-centered, right? So that's why we'll have her tilt back a little. So this is where we get into the picky business, because if you're off just a hair, it's going to show on your x-ray. So again, mid-sagittal plane is parallel to the IR. So her mid-sagittal plane, technically, with her head is parallel. So that's good. So this is your lateral. I'll let you rest your neck, but basically that's what you want to do.
Okay.
And relax. Did you get pictures? Never mind, don't relax.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. And tuck your chin back. Or 2 inches above the IOML, so tuck it a little bit. Good, and turn your head a little bit this way and tilt it. Okay, okay, I like it. So this is where you kind of got to get in their business and be like, look at them. Do you guys all see how she's straight now?
Mm-hmm.
You guys can see from this angle. You want to come right in front of her because it's going to be tilted. I'm going to just move you, Caitlin.
Okay.
Do you see how that's tilted?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys all see that? Okay, so you can relax. Good job. So this is very, very tiny movements, and you want to make sure it's perfect. You want to move fast though, because it is irritating for the neck, right?
Yeah.
So this is forward position.
Yep. So we're gonna do the Caldwell that has that 15-degree caudal angle.
Did you want to get that
For
one?
the PA
I think I might have got it. I think I might have got it.
You want to
Do you want
just
to show me
check?
the pictures?
Yeah, I see. what
Talon
that is.
skull and lateral skull. The first 3 are lengthwise. The last one's crosswise.
Actually,